On a route he runs multiple times a week, Garrett Mason remembers his mom, who worked to secure funding for this trail before passing in 2017.
She died inviting people to my 2018 Gubernatorial launch, like literally. And so, you know, she's a very important person in my life. It's been fun to, fast forward to today. Like, what would she think of this campaign? What would she think of what's going on?
Gina Mason was serving her first term in the legislature at the time of her death. Her husband and Garrett's dad, Rick, eventually took over that seat.
We've always been tangentially involved, but I think I like to tell people that my parents followed my footsteps, and got elected to the legislature after I did.
Mason, a Republican, was born and raised in Lisbon. He attended a Christian school in Turner before attending Pensacola Christian College in Pensacola, Florida. He returned home and eventually ran for the legislature when he was 25.
Ended up winning that race by 11 points. It was one of those seats that nobody thought a Republican could win.
Mason served 4 terms in the Maine Senate, rising to majority leader in his last 2 terms. Mason is now an Androscoggin County Commissioner and has been on the other side of things doing lobbying work as a co-founder of Dirigo Public Affairs. He says that consists of advocating for people who have to work every day and can't go to Augusta to let their voices be heard. Adding that in doing that work, he's seen the state change, pointing the finger at Democratic leaders in Augusta.
I had a front row seat to watching Janet Mills and the Democrats raise taxes on every single portion of our economy, make everything more expensive from housing to energy.
Mason says if elected, his top priority is
affordability, affordability, affordability. Those are the priorities. It's too expensive to live here. It's too expensive to get ahead.
Mason says there are things the state can be doing to combat rising energy prices.
One of the first things that I'll do if I'm governor is I'm going to work with President Trump and the administration to allow American natural gas to come in to Maine. Right now, that's federally prohibited.
On health care, Mason says he disagrees with Democrats and does not support universal coverage.
The legislature over the past few years has had opportunities to lower premiums, and they have chosen not to, all at the altar of universal health care.
One of those opportunities.
We offered a solution in the legislature that would have brought premiums down from around $1,500 on average to $500. And Democrats have refused it.
Mason, a husband and father, also focusing on education. He says the state needs to allow teachers to teach.
Right now, we're burdening them down with so much regulation and so many mandated things in the law that they don't have time to just go simply through the curriculum.
Mason says he is the only person in the Republican primary field who has lowered your taxes, and he wants to continue to do so.
We sat down with Democrats, and Democrats agreed with us that reducing the income tax was the best thing to do for Maine families. And so that was a bipartisan vote to do that. And that's the kind of leadership that I can bring to the table.
Mason says he plans to win your vote just like he did in the past, and he has the experience to do the job.
I was born here and they're going to plant me here. And I think that we need somebody that has stake in the game, but can also understand what the problems are and address them right away.
Garrett Mason running in more ways than one in that piece from our Jackie Mundry as we check it again with the hosts of the In the Arena podcast. And he's trying to make the argument there that sometimes it is good to be an insider and have that legislative experience.
Yeah, for him, that's a virtue, not a vice, as the others who say they want to be outsiders. And Garrett's a guy, he's smart, he's very likable, and he actually even knows how things work under the State House dome.
Yeah, and that's not a bad argument in Maine politics. I mean, let's remember, our governors mostly come from government experience, from Jock McKernan to Joe Brennan to John Baldacci to Governor LePage and Mills. Only Angus King was really the outsider that got in, and I think that most Mainers want people who've got some experience. So that's why I feel like he would have more traction. It's kind of weird. He doesn't have more traction. Yes, he hasn't raised a lot of money, but outsiders are certainly funding his campaign quite a bit. So I'll be very curious in the upcoming debates how he tries to break through.
Yeah, he has the ingredient that no other candidate has, and that is I know how to turn the dials of the legislative process. I understand how the bureaucracy and the regulatory agencies work. What is going to be interesting is can he transfer that experience to people on Main Street and convince them that he's going to use that experience to attract businesses to deal with the issues that he pointed out on healthcare and energy and education. Hopefully, if his campaign is going to be successful, he's going to be delivering more of the details.
Phil, real quick here, if you're advising him, what could Garrett Mason do differently from his previous campaign in 2018 if he wants to win the nomination?
Yeah, I think he's got to tell more people on Main Street, hey, I'm just like you. I know what it's like to meet a payroll, to deal with property taxes. I've got connections and relationships that can be used to improve Maine's economy.
All right, we'll leave the discussion there.